Howdy, y'all. It is time for the semifinals of our Great American Moments debate. So, if you look here, the winners from yesterday are the 19th Amendment, where women got the right to vote, the end of slavery, the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and finally, the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Let's look at today's matchups. We have the Constitution and the Bill of Rights versus the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Let's see what y'all had to say in support of these. For the Constitution, the Bill of Rights gives people freedom and protects people from the things that would happen before the Bill of Rights was made. I think it's the best because, for example, it gives people the right for freedom of speech. For the Civil Rights Act, the Civil Rights Act is one of the most important and one of the best remembered American moments in history. It is most revered because it stopped segregation, the inhumane preference of white people over black. For the Constitution, my opinion is it is pretty cool that we do get to have rights and have the ability to do certain stuff without someone stopping us from it. For example, bearing weapons, which means you have a right to own a gun for your own defense, and the Civil Rights Act. If we didn't have the civil right to today, everybody would be treated unfairly. I chose this moment because if we didn't have the Civil Rights Act today, everybody would be treated bad because of their religion and the color of their skin. And our other matchup, the end of slavery versus the 19th Amendment, giving women the right to vote. But first, here is your secret word for today. It's debate. Now, let's see what arguments you guys came up with. For the end of slavery, why I think the end of slavery was an amazing American moment is because just imagine being a slave, being tortured, and working with very little food, not getting paid for the work, and all that because your race and skin color. But when slavery ended, they had a chance to be free and they didn't have to starve or get hurt by other people. For the 19th Amendment, women and men should be equal. So I've picked women get the right to vote because women are as good as men or even better. And a lot of women do great things, not just sit, cook, clean, listen. There are great things that women can do. For the end of slavery, I think this is the best moment because the end of slavery was the end of people being pushed around and beaten up for no apparent reason. The second reason is that people were harassing other people, and it should never have happened because other people don't deserve that kind of cruelty. And for the 19th Amendment, I think the 19th Amendment is one of the best moments. It's only fair if you are treated fair. Everyone should be treated the same. Girls should have a right to do all things. A girl should be able to vote and not have to do all the housework, the cleaning, the cooking. They may not want to do that. So, if you do not want to do something, change what you are doing and do something else, like farming, fighting for freedom, etc. Everyone should be treated the same, and that is why women should be treated the same as men. And that's it. We only have two matchups to do today. It's the semifinals. We are almost done. So now that you've watched just a few arguments here, I am going to show you what you need to do now. First up, well, you're going to fill out a form very much like the ones that you've already done. See, if you remember, I believe our secret word was debate. And you are going to vote on which of these is going to win: the 19th Amendment versus the end of slavery, and then the Constitution and the Bill of Rights versus the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Once you've voted on these for the last time, you are going to pick just one of these four. It can even be one you've already done. And you are going to write me an argument in favor of it. Explain why it is a great moment. And I will be randomly picking some of those to be videoed tomorrow for our final round. So that's pretty basic and easy. You guys have already done this a couple of times. I therefore have something else for you to work on too. This says American government practice, and this practice part is important. This one is going to ask you a bunch of questions on how the American government works. You may notice I haven't made a video or anything teaching you about that yet. And yeah, I know that. So the first page is normal, but I do want you to notice this last bit here. It says, so this assignment is required, but it will not be graded based on what you get right or wrong. In a day or two, you may get a version that's actually for a grade, though. And you're going to have to click, got it. I'll do my best, but if I don't know the answer, I'll just make my best guess and move on. That is exactly what I want you to do. I mean, if you really want to research all the answers, I can't stop you, but that is going to make what should be a fairly easy assignment into something much harder. Anyway, I'll kind of show you what it looks like. Here, you'll have to evaluate these statements on whether they're about the legislative, executive, or judicial branches of government. Here, we talk about the executive departments, and you're going to try to tell me what each one of them does. Honestly, you can probably get some of these right as long as you know what the words justice, education, treasury, defense, labor, and so on. If you know what those words mean, you can probably get a pretty solid guess going on these. And eventually, the last section is going to ask you questions about the duties and powers of the President of the United States. So, yeah, go through, take this, take it seriously in the sense of read each question and give me your best answer, but don't sweat it. If you don't know the answer, eh, give me your best guess. And for now, I'll be happy with that. We will do a real version later where, I will expect you to know the answers, but that'll be after I've already taught it to you. I think that's it for today. Wow, this is shorter than normal, but you know what? I'm okay with that if you are. So I'll close us up by saying, please stay safe and stay healthy.